could feel my hands shaking. I feel my heart beating. I feel my palms clamming up. I can feel a heat wave over my body. Yeah, I remember what it was like walking into a new school. I had struggled with social anxiety my entire life, but I'd never felt it as intense as this. I had just transferred schools, and I went from this really small private high school with about 200 students in it to this very large public school with about 1,600 students in it. And I quickly realized that at this new school, the bus dropped me off 40 minutes before my first class even started. I didn't know what to do for 40 minutes. Personally, I wanted to just go be by myself, sit in the corner, and just be alone. But I feared people would negatively judge me, wondering, who's that loser over there with no friends? So I came up with a plan. And my plan was to walk the halls over and over again for 40 minutes until my first class started. And I thought to myself, this will work great. I'm just gonna be able to blend in with everybody. No one will ever know what I'm doing. Until one day, somebody did. I got on the bus to head home from school, and somebody called me out in front of everybody and said, "Why do you walk the halls in circles every morning?" And I remember just feeling my heart just drop down into my stomach. I was so ashamed, humiliated, embarrassed. And I knew the next day at school, I could not walk the halls anymore. So from that day forward, I would go into school, go into the bathroom, and I would sit in the stall, and I would cry. And I would have all these thoughts in my head like, Kyle, why can't you do this, man? Why can't you talk to people? Why can't you make friends? Why aren't you normal? I don't want teens to go through the same experiences as I did in high school. That's why I've made it my mission to help 1 million teens go from socially anxious to socially confident. Now, I want to invite you into my 15-year-old head. Picture this. I did not know how to make friends. Now, don't get me wrong, I desperately wanted to make friends. I just didn't know how to do this. I can even remember sitting up in my bed at night trying to think of strategies on how to achieve this task. And I would think, well, maybe I just say hi to somebody. Oh, no. Maybe I ask to borrow a pencil. That'll get the conversation going. But what if we start talking and they realize I came from a private school? Will they think I'm a weirdo? Or what if we start talking and they realize I don't have any friends here yet? Will they think I'm a loser? As you can probably tell, I've struggled severely with social anxiety, and having little to no self-confidence was just a small byproduct of that. Now think about this. When it came to public speaking of any kind, my mind would go in anxiety overload. Now, for most people, public speaking makes them a little anxious, a little nervous. For me, it was on a whole other level. So, for example, if I had a speech to give in one of the last classes of my day, I would think and worry about that all day long. And when I finally did get to the class where I was supposed to give a speech, I would sit in my desk and I would listen to the teacher, read off the names as to who is to present in what order. And I would sit there and think to myself, oh, I hope the fire alarm goes off. Or, oh, I hope the person in front of me talks too long, we won't have time to get to me today. Of course, this rarely ever happened. And eventually, my name would get called, in which I would numbly walk up to the front of the room, turn around, and see a sea of my classmates' eyes staring at me, expecting something great. I knew it was not about to happen. Clearly, my life was run by fear. Finally, here's one more for you. I thought people thought negative things about me, even though I had zero evidence to back it up. because it required zero evidence for me to feel like I was constantly being judged. Judged for how I talked, how I acted, how I dressed, how I even walked. It felt like there was this giant spotlight on me at all times. Imagine your entire life being negatively judged by famous American Idol judge Simon Cowell. I can imagine that's at least similar to the experience I had. And as you can probably guess, I had very little to no self-worth. Now think about this. According to the NCSAS, 9.1% of teens struggle with social anxiety disorder. And according to the ADAA, 36% of those teens wait 10 or more years before ever seeking help. This is a different kind of pandemic. This is a silent pandemic. Now, you may be wondering to yourselves, when did I realize I need to make a change in my life? This happened for me when I was in college. I can remember walking into the bedroom of my apartment and hearing this voice inside my head, clear as day, say to me, "Kyle, you have got to do something about this, man. Quit taking pity on yourself and start taking action." And that's when it clicked for me. And that's when my 3-step process was born that not only I use, but now I've helped thousands of others use to go from socially anxious to socially confident. Now, when we talk about social anxiety, we tend to overcomplicate things, but my 3-step process doesn't overcomplicate things, but it actually brings simplicity to progress. So without further ado, let's get on to step 1, which is to shower yourself with self-love. According to Cascio, there is MRI evidence suggesting that certain neural pathways in our brains become expanded when we practice self-affirmation tasks. And if you want to get super specific, the ventromedial prefrontal cortex in our brains, which is responsible for self-perception, emotional processing, among other things, becomes more active when we take into account our own personal values. And according to Weisenfeld, our tendency to linger on negative experiences actually decreases when we practice these self-affirmation tasks. So if that's decreasing, we can increase our tendency to focus on the positive experiences in life. So how can you all practice self-love? So there's lots of ways to do this. I just want to share with you all one way that is also my favorite way that I do every morning. So I'll get up, I'll go grab my speaker, I'll go walk in the bathroom, I set it on the sink, and I play some music. But I don't play just any kind of music. I play music that's going to get me hyped up, like get me jive, like really raise my body's frequency. Imagine or think about the last movie that you watched that had like a battle scene in it. You know, it has that music in the background. Probably sounds something similar like dun 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 dun. Like it really gets you in the movie. You feel like you're about to get in the battle. You connect with the characters emotionally. That's the music I play. And while I play that music, I stare into my mirror, I look into my eyes, and I speak positive self-affirmations via I am statements. And I say it with emotion. Now, I don't have a mirror with me, but it looks similar to like this. I am amazing. I am confident. I am a beast. I am killing it in this TEDx right now. So start thinking to yourselves, what self-affirmations would you use? Make it a part of your routine every single morning. All right, now let's move to step 2, which is to find baby step uncomfortable challenges. Now, when I'm talking about uncomfortable challenges, what I mean is something's gonna make you a little anxious, a little nervous, something that's gonna take you just a little bit outside that comfort zone. If you've ever heard the term exposure therapy, that's what I'm talking about. According to medicalnewstoday.com, 60 to 90% of people either have no symptoms or very mild symptoms after their completion of exposure therapy. So why do I say baby step uncomfortable challenge? I say baby step because we don't want to do something so big and so far outside our comfort zone that it actually sends our mental health for a loop and makes us feel even more anxious than before. We want to just feel it just a little bit. So imagine a pool filled with anxiety water. We want just enough to get our toe wet. That is it. So I want to share with you all an example of something that I've done and I've also had other people do as an uncomfortable challenge. I call it the honkin' wave. If you want to take a look over here, you can see a video.
Up! What's up? All right, here we go. This guy's probably think I'm honking the camera. Hey! Come on, I need some more. What's up? Yeah! Oh! Woo! Yeah! What's up, yellow guy?
So that's just an example of something to do. But I want you all to start thinking, how can you implement this step into your life? It should be simple to put in place. It doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be enough discomfort to take you to that next level. And it's actually what led me to coming up with step 3, which made the whole process much easier and more fun. And that is to reward your efforts, not your results. Now I say efforts and not results because it only requires effort to go outside your comfort zone. That is it. And once you're out there and you're doing these challenges, you can't control the results, no matter how much you might want to. A lot of times the challenges will go exactly how you think they will. And sometimes they won't. And that's okay. That's why we go back to focusing on the effort and rewarding ourselves for that effort. So for example, when I first started doing these challenges in college, I would reward myself by playing 1 hour of Xbox before starting on my homework. This worked really well for me. But you could also do something like a lunch date with a friend, maybe a special coffee, or even something as simple as a 20-minute Netflix break in the middle of the day. It's whatever works for you. So start thinking, how can you honor your efforts in these challenges? Now, let me invite you into my head today. Picture this, you'll see a whole different thing. The number one fear in the world is public speaking. Here I am. I'm still killing it. I never thought I could be a boss. Now I run my own company. I never thought I'd have a family. Now I'm married and have 3 kids. And I surely never thought I'd be helping people go from socially anxious to socially confident. I didn't think any of this was possible. And it wasn't. Not until I faced my social anxiety with my 3-step process. I am Social Anxiety Kyle, and my mission is to help 1 million teens go from socially anxious to socially confident. And I want you all to be a part of that million. Are you in? Here's how you can be a part of the million. Be open about what gives you anxiety. Be vulnerable. Have those difficult conversations, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Lead by example by taking those baby steps towards your anxiety. And when you come across moments of discomfort, see them as opportunities for growth, not challenges. And finally, share your process from beginning to end. We can only reach the 1 million if you all share your efforts. Confidence is contagious. And if we can build it for ourselves, we can build it for others. But it doesn't just end with ourselves. We need to encourage others to join in. So for education, we can encourage teachers and administration to implement mental health curriculum in all schools. For businesses, we can inspire leaders to invest in mental health support and resources for their employees. For parents, we can empower them to have those difficult conversations with their kids to help reduce the stigma around mental health. And for teens themselves, I know where you've been. I see, I hear, I feel what you're going through. But the most important fact of all is that you are not alone. And my 3-step process is just the beginning to a whole new life for yourself. It starts with simple actions. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to think of something that maybe you've been wanting or needing to do, but you've been too anxious to do it. What's a baby step you can take in the direction of that one thing? Now open your eyes. I want you to say this to yourself every single day. I am confident. I love myself. I bring value everywhere I go. And don't forget to tell yourself, there are no challenges in my life, only opportunities for growth. Thank you.